Welcome to Money in the Bank. Now, this video is not going to be ordinary. I'm not going to do it like I normally do when I do a review. Now, I am going to try and cover as much as I can that I can remember and what I wrote down. But I'm going to put... The perspective you're going to get here is from someone who's barely looked at the product at all. And for what little he's seen, he's going to give you his perspective. I have not kept up with WWE, as you guys know. So I am going into this mostly blind with a fresh perspective. Now, mind you, I know the product freaking sucks. But I'm going to see the pay-per-view for what it is. And the major thing that makes the pay-per-view great is the fans. That is what made the entire show work. The 3-hour show, 4-hour show going from 6 to 7. That damn show, from 7 to 8, I take that back. From 7 to 8, not counting whatever little content they had left on YouTube beforehand, from 7 to 8 and from 8 all the way to 11, almost 11:30. That's a long ass show, and I've seen it. But I'm going by the perspective of how excited the fans were. And at most of it, they were very excited. That's the truth. Now, Kickoff Show. Usos go up against Rhea and Dom. Now, here's the thing, guys. If you see my Gump report on Jimmy, on Jimmy Uso, my mistake, not Jay. This is his 4th or 5th DUI, not DWI, but DUI, driving under the influence, not driving while intoxicated. At least that's what I remember. He's been rewarded here. Now, mind you, there's an understanding why he has to be rewarded, particularly when you see the match on YouTube. You see that the match wasn't bad. It was good. But you also see that it wasn't Jay who got the pin on Rey Mysterio. It was Jimmy. Jonathan. Trinity Fatu's husband. The guy who did the DUI. The guy who, again, was stupid enough to get drunk. He gets the win here. Now, mind you, it's on the Kickoff Show, and many people would say, well, it doesn't really mean much. But still, guys, this is the 4th time he screwed up, and he's rewarded for it because they want The Rock. Flat out, that's what this is all about. The Rock coming back. That's what this is about. I don't agree with it. And sooner or later, something's going to come to a head. Like when it comes to Jimmy, also Nia Jax, sooner or later, she's going to come to a head. Because sooner or later, she's going to badly hurt somebody. I'm just saying. Now, the women's ladder match, where Nia Jax was not included. Thank goodness for that. We got Blix. No. Well, I don't know who this person is, Alexa Bliss, anymore. She is not Bliss. She's Blix. She is the bizarre world of Bray Wyatt. Now, mind you, she's done a good job being what she is. And she's taken advantage of how Bray Wyatt has been screwed over by the company. Let's be honest. Where's Bray Wyatt? She's taken his gimmick because, hell, they don't care about him anymore. Then you got all the other women there, and I'm not even going to mention them. Was it a good ladder match for their Money in the Bank briefcase? Here's the thing. You know that, how can I say this? Natalya was okay. Naomi definitely was great. When it came to the one who was the most spotlighted, who showed that she could be in the main event, that is Liv Morgan. She looked great. The one who truly is so fucked up right now. Zelina Vega. I believe I got a picture of her. She's in my face. What did I tell you guys in one of my Gump reports? That when they go in front of fans again, Zelina is not going to be booed. She's not going to be cheered. There will be nothing. They played her music, and it was still low enough that you could hear the fans. guess what? Guess what? Nothing. Silence. Literally. It wasn't that the music was too loud. It was because no one was cheering her. Yeah, there was a few people along the rampway that was willing to try wave at her and stuff. But the general public did not take her very well. She had no reaction. Period. Now the match itself, it was a reaction with her. Doesn't mean they liked her. They just had a lot of reaction while she was working. Now, I'll never say that Zelina Vega is 100% trash in the ring. I've always said she's a good wrestler, but she's a better manager. But here, she got no reaction when she comes into the ring. Period. That is going to show you how this is not going to last long. The one that I was surprised to see a lot of work with was Tamina. Now, of course, she was the biggest woman there, and they had to put it on her back. But I got very worried at one point because, look, I've always said Tamina has gotten not a very fair shake. Because before the women's revolution, every woman that had a great pair of tits, ass, and a pretty face got that damn title. And Tamina did not. And I'm only saying this not out of disrespect to any of those women or Tamina, but she should have already held the title years ago. Just to get it over with. About a month or two and would have ended it, and that would have been done. And the way they were booking her in this match, it got me nervous that they were going to give her the Money in the Bank, which would have been a waste. And I'm not even against Tamina. I just don't believe they would have booked her at all right if she even won the Raw Women's Championship or the SmackDown for that matter. I just don't see it happening. In the end, it was Nikki Ash, formerly known as Nikki Cross, the near superhero, or superheroine, if you want to go and be politically correct, which I don't. Miss Superhero, superheroine, I take that back. Superheroine. Heroine. I'm saying it again. That's the women's version of hero for men. If you don't know, was this the wisest thing to do? I don't know. I have no idea how far they're going to push this woman. She came up with the idea of the superhero, whatever she is, Super Ash. But let's be very honest here. She's not Hurricane. She's just not. But it doesn't mean she couldn't still get over. I'm just saying. Now, how can I say this? AJ Styles and Almost versus a too long of a match with the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders originally. That match did not need to be that long. That was a terrible match. Not because the War Raiders didn't do a great job or AJ, it's Almost. Almost, I'm not against him. But he is not a great worker when it's all by himself. He needs to do frequent tags. He's not ready, and he needed to do frequent tags, and they dragged that match out way longer than it should have been. Now, mind you, the crowd did like it, but it's not the point if you like it or not. It's the point of how weak Almost is. He may be bigger than anyone there, but he didn't look great. He would look very sloppy. And on top of that, the match was too long. Didn't need to be that long. I'm just saying. Yes, they managed to retain AJ and Almost, but what does that mean? Not much at all. Should have left the Viking Raiders win it. That would have been better, but that's just me. Kofi versus Lashley for the WWE Championship. I knew only one thing was going to happen. I knew Lashley had to annihilate a Kofi Kingston. There was no Xavier Woods there. It was only Kofi. And he was completely destroyed. Lashley even got his mouth cut open at one point. He was bleeding from his mouth at one point. That's how vicious the match was. It was a destruction of Kofi Kingston. Period. But here's something interesting. And this is what I want to pose to you guys. At least for me. You got Kofi Kingston, who is directly from, I believe, West Africa or Ghana. I can't remember where. I think West Africa. I think that's where he's originally from. I don't remember. But then you got Apollo Crews or Apollo from Nigeria. Wouldn't it be kind of interesting to have a feud between both these two? I'm just saying. They were both born in Africa. I believe Apollo was born in Africa. Or his parents are directly from Africa, but he came in. I think it would be interesting to see a feud between Kofi and, well, how can I describe this? Both countries of if it's West Africa or Ghana versus Nigeria, where the Nigerian descended from the prince and princesses and kings and queens says to Kofi, one day he's walking down the hallway with him and he bumps into him, hey, show me respect. I come from royalty. He says, so? Says, you Nigerians, no, not you Nigerians, you West Africans don't know nothing. And he says, excuse me? Are you trying to say something about West Africa? I'm saying it because Nigeria always was better than West Africa. And they start a feud like that. Beginning it with their different countries and then moving away from it and making about who is better. Kofi Kingston and the Apollo. Saying that because I'm of Nigerian blood, well, not Nigerian, of royal blood, he doesn't even have to say Nigeria anymore. I am better than you. Making about a commoner versus a noble. Might be interesting. Now, the match that clearly a lot of people are going to say was the great women's match of the entire night. That they've seen in years, or months, or whatever. And I'm going to say, because of one reason, Rhea Ripley put her ass on the line for Charlotte. Let's put this in perspective. When you see Charlotte, tell me, what do you see? I believe I got a shot of her back in 2016. I'm going to put that in my face. Now I'm going to put a shot of her now in 2021. Does something look strange to you? Does she look weird to you? Yeah. She's remade herself into a damn doll. What happened about someone's own pride in themselves? Now, mind you, there's some women like Alexa Bliss who had I think bulimia, anorexia. That's what she has. And she got a boob job to really help her self-esteem because she does have a problem. But when it came to Charlotte, she got no problem. She just remade herself to make herself more appealing to television. And that did not make her wrestling better. Now, mind you, people are going to say, well, she's a very great wrestler. She's a good wrestler, but she's not a great one. Rhea Ripley is a very good wrestler. And she put over Charlotte. Literally, that entire match was not about how great Charlotte was. It was about how great Rhea Ripley was to sell everything Charlotte did. Flat out. That's what that was all about. And now Charlotte won. For the 13th or now the 14th time now. I can't even remember how many title reigns she's had. You know why? Because all of them have been meaningless. Because the person that she did those title reigns with, which was mostly Sasha, has never gotten anywhere. If Sasha had been elevated to the point without losing her title every 30 days, because that's one of the only reasons why she got so many title reigns, other than dealing with Becky or Bayley, her reigns don't mean anything because her partner that she's dealt with has never been able to hold the title very long. And when it comes to Charlotte, she has been pushed so badly, so much, that yes, people love her. But does that mean she's the greatest wrestler of all times? No. Trish Stratus, Mickie James, Lita, Victoria, Molly Holly. recent memory, these are the 5 best women you can deal with. And I know you can say E. Torres and anyone else, or Kelly. No. Direct, showing how good they were in wrestling, those were it. And Charlotte's not even at their caliber. So the one who made her look good here, as I've always said, that Charlotte can't make anyone else look good. She can only make herself look good, and that's it. And that's stretching it. Rhea saved her butt. Now we got a 13th or 14th reign, I think. You guys tell me below how many reigns Charlotte Flair has now, because I don't remember. Now, the men's Money in the Bank. I'm going to leave that for last, because that's the one I'm focusing on. I'm not going to focus on the ending of the show. I am focusing on the Money in the Bank. Now, Universal title match. The Edge versus the Roman Reigns, which was a damn good match. Really a damn good match. How can I say this? You can say, out of any of the matches in the last year, this is one of the damn good ones. Well thought out, well orchestrated to make Roman Reigns be a heel, but show how Edge has to struggle against that heel. That he's not bad, he's not evil, he is just that good. That is for Roman Reigns. That is how they booked it. Now, mind you, I wasn't too fond of how the ending was when it came to Seth Rollins. But when you see how they booked the match and how they took everything they built up from Paul Heyman, remember, Paul Heyman wrote it. Everything flowed well, even when they did rest holds. And Roman Reigns holding him, he's holding him like this. And understand, in wrestling, if you're trying to be gentle to your opponent, you put your soft part of yourself right here. But if you're not, and you want to make it real, you put the bone here right into their face, and it's going to hurt. I never had it myself, but I understand it hurts. Even the rest holds looked good, and you hear Roman Reigns trash talking, say, I can do this all night. I will do this every day for the entire year. He is nothing. He is a nobody. He will never be as great as me. And he is trash talking Edge all throughout the match, pissing off the crowd, and showing he was doing his job well. In the end, you got the Usos coming out, try and save a Roman Reigns when he got nailed by, Roman Reigns nailed Edge, who nailed Robinson. And in the hopes of trying to do something and could not, Robinson was down. He went over, got a piece of metal from the chair like he did the last time, and could not get it done. And Edge grabbed him and in his mouth. I think I got a shot of it in my face. Instead of seeing my hand, I think I will put that. I'm sure when I do this edit, I'm going to put myself in there, and I'm going to put that in there, and maybe I may say, I got a hand in my mouth. But the point is, Usos tried to help, couldn't, because Dominic and Rey came out because of how they got screwed out of their titles, even though I didn't say it. It was a good ending of the show until Seth Rollins came in, and it looked so choreographed. Sorry, it just did. It looked really choreographed. But it had to happen because you had to let Roman Reigns win the way he did. Now, Seth already said this before the match happened. I don't care who wins. I am going for that title. And he went straight to his face and said, and this is Roman, you don't got nothing unless it was because of me. You got this because of me. And then you get Edge fighting with him, and they start going up into the fans and start fighting there. Well done. Other than that, really, it was so telegraphed with Seth Rollins. It just was. But it had to happen. Final thing I'm talking about, the true chosen one. The true chosen one. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, there were only 3 people I could see that could get the title. That would have been Drew, and I didn't want to see it because he had a whole bunch of chances. Seth, I didn't want to see it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. And Big E, because he has been built so well. He's the only one they have. Because it wasn't going to be with Riddle because he's still dealing with a Randall Keith Orton eventually when he comes back. It wasn't going to be Shinsuke Nakamura because he's still going to be dealing with Baron Corbin, who's no longer king. He definitely wasn't going to be Ricochet because they've done nothing with him. Flat out. So it had to be one of those three. The match was actually quite good. And I know I didn't say much about Kevin Owens, but there was no way they're going to let Kevin do it. It just, he's done as well. And particularly the way that Seth Rollins threw him onto that ladder, and he might have whacked his head pretty hard. That makes me a little nervous. I'm hoping he's okay, but I didn't expect him to win either. It was Biggie Langston, originally Biggie Langston, who won the Money in the Bank briefcase. The true chosen one. Now, I can tell you that the most important thing of the show had to be John Cena and Roman Reigns, and I will get to that in a moment what my thoughts are. But I truly believe that this was the most important thing that had to happen. Seeing Biggie Langston, it was important because right now, neither does Lashley or Roman Reigns have an opponent. Well, until John Cena came out, until that moment, you didn't know where he was going to go. You did speculate it was going to be Lashley because we had heard the rumors of a possible Goldberg, and I'm glad it wasn't because it is John Cena. It's obvious. But we didn't know at that moment. So we didn't know where he was going, but we felt it would be Lashley. And it is wisest that it had to be Lashley because there's no one else you could see that is capable even going against Lashley. It can't be Apollo. He's already tried him. He's no match for him. The only one that I see pound for pound, strength for strength would be Biggie. He may be like this compared to him, but it doesn't mean he can't take him on. And it makes sense to at least give him that until maybe Brock Lesnar will show up. Because that's what this is all coming down to whenever Brock Lesnar comes back, if he comes back. Last thing I will talk about is John Cena. And he's in my face. Was this the wisest thing to do for Roman Reigns? Yes. John Cena coming back is the wisest thing to do for SummerSlam. There is no one else I can see. No one that can even work with Roman Reigns at this point. No one has been... Understand, there have been people that have been called up from the main roster. To the main roster. You know why the reason I'm botching? Because NXT has been screwed over multiple times. They could have used Keith Lee. Keith Lee's gone. He's disappeared. You could have done something with Riddle, but they've done almost nothing with Riddle. You could have done something with Priest, Damian Priest. They've done nothing with him, not counting on his back, because before his back began to get really bad, they could have done something with him. They've done nothing with him. When it comes down to it, they got no one legitimate to go against Roman Reigns. And even though they're bringing up Karrion Kross, who easily is going to be screwed over in the roster because Vince always messes with whatever. Calm down. Scarlett Bordeaux is not going to be by his side. Bronson Reed is going to be on his own, who is not ready yet. When it comes down to it, there's no one for him to work with, since he is the face of the company. So bringing back John Cena was the only option they had left, because there's no one else young enough. This is the kicker, guys. There is no one left that can work with Roman Reigns. Kurt Angle's generally retired. Edge, he just went through him. Christian's in AEW. Chris Jericho is in AEW. When it comes to, like, a Big Show, he's gone too. And he went through him already. Braun Strowman, they screwed him over when he had the chance to really be something. Now he's gone. When it comes to if he'll wrestle again, Mark Henry, they could have done something with him, but in the end, they treated him just as bad as Big Show Paul White. So there's no one left that's young enough to do anything. And you could say Daniel Bryan, but he's not there right now. There's no one. So when it comes down to it, they had no choice. This is a kicker. They have no options. Vince has screwed himself over years before, not pushing anyone. After the pandemic happened, it's even less, particularly when Roman Reigns couldn't be there because he has leukemia. After he came back, when he seemed to be safe and healthy and the virus wouldn't kill him, he's been the only thing compelling on WWE as the face of it. It's not Lashley, it's him. So when it comes down to it, it's sad. Guys, I have not watched the product constantly for more than a year and a half. I've done the pay-per-views, and on and off I've looked at SmackDown or Raw. I have not watched NXT barely at all. Last couple of times I watched it was almost about 3 weeks ago to a month, and I watched 2 episodes. And they were not back to back. I don't see anything good for the company. Nothing. Now mind you, hearing that fans are not getting that many tickets doesn't mean they're not going to sell out eventually. But the key is this. As far as it goes, WWE has nothing compelling. And more people to pull up from NXT means nothing. A person like me, who should be a hardcore fan of WWE, is not. And I'm not going to be again. Not as long as Vince is still there. Kevin Dunn is still there. Bruce Pritchard is still there. I'm not going to be a fan of none of it. Ever again. And that's sad. I should be. And I still do the pay-per-views because there are people there I still love. Like a Naomi. Like when it comes to the Usos. Even though Jimmy has screwed his ass up badly. I'm just saying. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please give me a comment below. And I will have a gut report up either Monday or Tuesday. I think probably Tuesday will be up. And this one will be a little bit of a talk of Thunder Rosa. Yes, I'll be talking about Thunder Rosa and Impact Wrestling, possibly. Peace.